Okay, yay. I see Sonya just hopped on too. Okay. Well, guys, hi. Welcome to Monday Masterclass. Andrea is actually in her car currently, coming and going from a busy morning of appointments, and which she was like, hey, can you open the call? I'm like, yes, I would love to. So let me give you just a little bit of backstory, because I just mentioned that we get a 2-for-1 this morning. Just like when we got to hear from Brittany Howard and Christina Williams, who are real life best friends, business partners. That was one of my favorite calls we've had so far, until Andrea booked Helen and Sonya for today. Let me give you a little backstory on why I value them both so much, because they're going to tell you their stories. But when I started Plexus 10 years ago, these were the two people who were doing a lot of the training and the inspiring. Sonya was my very first Super Saturday speaker. Sonya, it was when you spoke with Amy Kay back in Dallas, and I think it was January of 2015. At convention in 2014, I was a senior Ruby. Convention was also in Dallas, and I went for my first time, and I was like so overwhelmed. Oh my gosh, Plexus everywhere. Both Sonya and Helen were speakers. And I just remember back in that day being like, oh my gosh, wow. And then kind of dorked out by myself. Like, I can't believe you're fangirling over people at a network marketing convention. What's happened to you, Becky? And then I got to know them in real life. And I just really, really enjoy both of these ladies. I enjoy them, one, because their stories are pretty incredible. Like what God was doing, bringing them from their history into Plexus at the right time, and then how they have served the company. And I'll say this, like, when you get to a certain level in Plexus and you get invited to be a part of speaking or training or just areas of leadership, these two ladies have served a lot. Helen's been on our advisory board. Sonya, were you ever on advisory board?
No, I told Helen, I said, if I'm ever asked, I'll probably, that's my work.
Well, you were on the international advisory board.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, forgot about that. Yes.
They have both, Sonya, especially with Australia, they've both done so much groundwork for the company that you guys know as Plexus today. And so I really wanted to turn it over to them. They're both really great storytellers. They've got a long history together. And then they have both peeked behind the curtain for a long time at Plexus, been a part of a lot of focus groups, a lot of boards, a lot of meetings, but at the same time leading large teams, and they continue to show up and lead. They have not hit the maintenance mode switch on their businesses. These are two people who are really active. And I would say also they both, like, one of the things that I'm most fascinated by is how they've become shrewd business women, and not only in the areas of Plexus. So that's all I'll say. That's my intro. You guys take it from here, because I've got my pen and paper ready to go.
Wow. What an introduction. Hard to
I know.
Hard to live up to that.
Sonya, do you want to start? You want me to start? What do you want to do?
This
is how we roll, y'all.
Yeah, this is how we roll. Well, I'll start and kind of tell you where I was before you gave a call to me that summer, and kind of give a little bit of our history. Thank you, first of all, Becky, for having us on, you and Andrea, and thank you for such a sweet, warm, humbling, taking me back warm and fuzzy beginning. What a journey. But my name is Sonya Dudley, and I have been in Plexus for a little over 11 years. Helen and I joined the same day, September the 4th, 2012. And we had been, previous to that, we had been best friends. We had met because of another network marketing company. I had been in Mary Kay for, I don't know, a year or two, maybe 2 years before Helen. I'm not sure, something like that. She was moving to Nashville temporarily we didn't know that, for a couple of years is all, and looked me up in the yellow pages because I was holding meetings in Nashville. I'll let her kind of tell that. We got together then and become best friends. Our husbands, we were all, at the time, we were all brand new, married, no kids, 2 cats each. And we just become family, literally. That's our story, become family. And so when we got into Plexus, we had been best friends since 1993. And this was 2012. And I got out of Mary Kay after 17 years. I think Helen was in 15 or 16 years, so be right behind me. And we had kind of sworn off network marketing. I had tried a couple others, maybe 3 others, and got her into one of them. I'm the dreamer. Since I was a kid, thought I could be anything I wanted to be. And so I always loved network marketing because it is a company that teaches you personal growth, and you get paid to learn how to become better. Really, learn. What is it? Earn as you learn. That's kind of what we have.
It's like the best self-improvement course you'll ever get paid to take.
Yeah, exactly. And I always wanted time freedom. And you can have a lot of money. You can go and make a lot of money doing something, but you usually won't have time freedom with that. I know a lot of millionaires who don't have any time to enjoy what they've built. So Helen messaged me that day, and Helen, I'll let you kind of take over, and then I'll jump in on some things because we do have a lot of tips to share in our story. So I'll jump in. I'll raise my hand so I don't interrupt you. But my mindset the day she called me, I had been very, very sick. I had given up Mary Kay, given up a pink Cadillac, given up my career because I was so sick. I had gotten a little bit better, but not well at all. So my mindset was, we were in financial distress, cried myself to sleep every night. Thought my health was I felt like I was dying, really. I didn't even feel good enough most days to do anything. And Helen can vouch for all this. So I just was in a very dark place when this came along. So I'll let you take over, Helen.
And it's hard when your best friend is like hurting and you're, 2,000 miles away. And so Plexus was literally like a miracle, right? But it's so fun. And thank you, Becky. Thank you for that sweet introduction. And I'm so happy to be here with you all. It's always an honor to share our story. And I love the whole twist on having us both on sharing our story, because it's usually like we're, separate. So it's a great idea. So it's so fascinating, though, to really see like the ripple effect of God, because y'all, like, some of you might not know what a phone book is, but back in 1993, when I moved to Nashville, and my director, who had recruited me in Reno, Nevada, where I lived before I moved there, said, you got to go with this lady. She's a pink Cadillac. Yeah. Well, I was like in my mid-20s, and I already thought Mary Kay people had bouffant hairdos and drove pink Cadillac with fins. So I was like, I need a young gal. And so that's why I went to the phone book, because I was a rebel. I was like, I want to go to my own meeting and pick my own person who's going to train me. And so Dudley was the first name. And I'll never forget it, because Sonya, as you can tell, is the sweetest person with the like lovable accent. And here I'm like this West Coast girl. And I drove to the meeting not knowing where I was going, because we had paper maps. And I gave myself an hour because I didn't want to get lost. And I was in downtown Nashville. I walk into the back of Shoney's on Demumbrium, which is really just like a slum place, And she was there setting up her meeting. She had this cute little curly, like Dorothy Hamill kind of short hair. She's got natural curls. And she whipped her head around because I said, "Are you Sonya?" And she's all, "Hi." And I say the rest is history. Like, we were best friends. We really did have 2 cats each, which is now kind of funny because we're total dog people. We don't, I don't want to say we don't like cats, but we would just probably never own another cat. But I think about back at that moment in time when we met, and now in Plexus, and the 30 years that have happened to bring us to this point. And I just don't want you all, when we are sharing today about our boldness and kind of pioneering and starting, just sharing without having a virtual office, without having structure in our company to really like support ambassadors to grow their teams, like, you just don't know the ripple effect of what your yes and your decision can be. Because when Sonya begrudgingly said yes to me, And the only reason she probably said yes was because I was her best friend. And I kind of said, you have to do this with me because I really think these products are going to help your fibromyalgia. I mean, all kind of panic attacks. She was just really, really sick.
Yeah.
And I said, and if they do, I believe they do, because I had stumbled across Plexus on Facebook and saw Sheila Medina's name. This is where it's so divine, y'all. Like Sheila and I were in Mary Kay together, but we weren't even Facebook friends. So somebody this is back in 2012, Facebook used to alert you if you liked a picture of somebody. So it said, Kelly Moeller, who was a mutual friend of me and Sheila, liked Sheila's picture. I was like, Sheila, I heard she got out of Mary Kay. I wonder what she's up to. So I went and stalked her wall. That's how this whole thing happened. Overwhelming feeling when I saw the Plexus Lexus, the Rolex, and looked up the website. Now y'all I'm going to tell you what our website said. So just don't ever believe all your ducks have to be in a row and this company has to be perfect, because it doesn't matter. You can go anywhere on passion. And what did we say, Sonya? We were just too dumb to doubt. We were just excited because Sheila told us the stories about Ronnie getting off insulin. And I had no reason not to believe her. She won an award in Mary Kay for integrity. So I believed her. But y'all, when I went to Plexus for the first time, this before I even told Sonya what we were doing, the landing page says, who here is a grammar Nazi? Anyone?
I don't know.
So it said, Plexus Slim, the safest way to lose, LOOSE, weight. Now here Sheila had told me she's making six figures, driving a Plexus Lexus, her husband got a Rolex. I'm thinking, this company can't even spell lose weight, but that didn't matter, right? Because I knew that Sonya and I were going to do this and we were going to change the world. How I knew that, I can only explain because I was kind of like Sonya in the mindset of no more network marketing. All we knew was kind of party structure, cumbersome, inventory, expensive, a lot of work.
Yeah.
So that's what we knew because we're dinosaurs. We didn't have social media back when we were building American.
And Helen, I'll say you and I, when you told me about this, we had already been making fun of, because I had gotten out of, like, I had tried 2 or 3 more in this 5-year window of being very sick. And I had a guy come, I had finally got a full-time job and I hated being away from home. I knew in my heart I was still supposed to be working for myself, but people would come into where I was working. This last guy come in and would try to talk me into doing network marketing. And I remember telling Helen that
bait and switch. Yeah. And we're like, those slimy network marketers.
Yeah, that was what we had just had a conversation about a few weeks before she said this. So I knew when she said we're doing this and it's network marketing, I didn't even question it because I knew it was a God-given dream and belief. So I want to say here, if you know that you know that you know, when you're doing things and your heart is tugging you in a direction of going for something that is not the norm, not the world normal, you better believe that is God saying, I gave you this and you better figure it out. I'll stop there. You can go back to that and hear me.
Oh, no, it's great. And so that's, I kind of teased her at first. I was like, we're about to do something. It's going to change our lives. And she's like, whose lives? She goes, are you adopting a baby? I had her going for 24 hours. She thought we were going to at one point sell water filters. I'm like, woo, life changing. Necessary, baby, but not life changing. Right. So long story short, because we want to get to some meat of our story and just really, and one thing I like to say too, I always just pray like all of you hear this with ears that are just ready to receive and not compare, because we did go fast. When we made up our mind, when Sonya, within a week was, losing crazy weight, no more on the couch with pain. I was no longer needing my 4 o'clock Starbucks or nap. And I didn't want to kill somebody when it was that time of month, which was, pretty big issue for me. So I called Sheila the second week. I'm like, I don't need a nap anymore, but I also don't want to kill anybody. Because at the time, my husband was a flight attendant. My mom was living with us who had Alzheimer's. My son had special needs, extra help. So put that time of month on there. And it was, but my problems weren't anything like Sonya. So the minute we realized what we had our hands on, and here's what I want to say, like, I really believe that when every single Plexus ambassador really, really understands what you have, like what you have to offer people who are waking up every day praying for better health, better finances, you'll become unstoppable.
Yeah.
And I don't think people really get it, but the Lord put, like Sonya's testimony. I had my neighbor, Carrie Spratley, get off thyroid medication after 10 years within 2 weeks. Like we were like, what is in this job? I mean, it was crazy, right?
Yeah.
And then of course, Sonya living in a little town, you want to take it from here, what
Yeah.
started to happen, because we were like, when
Yeah.
we were like, we're telling everybody, and we don't care what anybody thinks.
And that's
Gold nugget number one right there. Just saying.
yeah, you don't care what people think. That was a big one. We could not worry about what people thought because they only think about you and what you're doing and talk about it for 5 minutes, and then they're off talking about somebody else's things for the next 5 minutes. You can't live your life thinking about what people think, or you will wake up and you will be our age in our mid-50s and you will go, where did life go? Please, please think about that. If you are worried about what people think, if we had done that, we cannot be unselfish. That is so selfish. It is. It's selfish because I don't care what people think. I didn't care. People would say, "Are you serious? You're selling something else?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, I am. This is the most amazing thing I've ever tried. You're not gonna believe it. No, thank you. I'm not interested." I'm like, fine. And I'd move on. But in a small town, everyone knows me. Everyone knows my business. I know everyone. Been going to the same beauty shop for 44 years. I mean, Helen makes fun of me saying beauty
Not a salon. It's called a
No.
beauty shop.
beauty shop. I live in Mayberry, one high school, couple banks, very small. It doesn't matter the size of your town, it's the size of your dream that matters. And it's knowing that God gave you that, and there's always going to be obstacles. So we had obstacles, but we just kept going, kept going, kept going. And one of the things I did was when I would make a Facebook post that was very non-compliant, let me say, because we didn't even have compliance then, and they've had me remove things for years. But when I would make a Facebook post, I would not say, I am doing this thing called Plexus, let me tell you about it, or I wouldn't hold it up and tell anybody what it was. I did a lot of curiosity posts for the first 2 weeks. So every day I would make a post holding my pink drink or something and saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm going to the bathroom every day for the first time in my whole life. This is a game changer. And people would say, what do you think they'd say? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you taking? What? And I'd say, I'll message you. I'll message you. I'll message you. My inbox, I didn't, and Tarl told this, I know at the diamond thing in Mexico, he said, Sonya Dudley said, when you're in momentum, you don't have to have a shower. I would go 3 days without a shower. I would bird
We
bath.
were like switchboard operators.
That's all I felt like I was. I had my phone, I had the computer at the time. I don't think I had an iPad, but I was busy messaging people. What did I say? I'd say, oh my gosh, Becky, listen, I don't even ask me what all's in this stuff that I'm taking. It is plant-based. It is clean. There's no artificial anything in it. It's good for you. And here's what's happened to me. And you're not going to believe this, but I'm making money. That's literally our system that we use. Today, still, I have that same boldness. And it just spiraled. I just told people, I got a lot of no's, I got a lot of yeses. But if you stop posting and you stop talking to people everywhere you go, they stop believing that you are sold out. The key is you never stop posting, because those people who told you no, 11 years later, they come to you and go, oh my gosh, I'm older. This has happened. I'm going through menopause. I know you hadn't quit Plexus. There must be something to it. Guys, you cannot quit. That's the key. You cannot quit. You cannot quit. So that's what we did.
And as long as we've been in, and I'm sure Andrea and Becky find this too, I always say people come back around and back around. I think I've recruited one person like 4 times.
Yes.
And so, health is tricky, but if you guys can just hear from Sonya's story and her passion, like, again, I reiterate, this is in 2012 and 2013. We did not have anything in Plexus. I remember the first time I ever held an event in my house, I printed off the virtual office lingo on little cardstock, cut it, read it, shaking. And I remember Sheila, because Sonya and I were on the leaderboard, and she would get asked by people like, what are Sonya and Helen doing? She would say, a little bit of everything.
Yep.
And so, yes, we were posting on Facebook, but we weren't doing, Zooms weren't really a thing back then. A lot of 3-way calls, in-person events, one-on-ones, in-home events, anywhere, and we were in a situation where we did start to travel. If you have an opportunity to ever get face-to-face with any of your team builders, I promise you, the belly-to-belly part of this business will always be the most effective. It's not always the most convenient, but Alec Clark, we used to talk about this. It'll always be an eyeball to eyeball, belly to belly business. And we can't use COVID as an excuse anymore. I think we got comfortable and people still want to do Zooms and they serve a purpose.
Yeah.
But I promise you, one of our biggest successes to having a solid foundation and continuing to earn things is because we had a lot of relationships built early on with trust. I wrote down VRC. I was, just things that I know Sonya and we have that really helped us. And it's vulnerability. Got to be vulnerable and tell your story and not be worried what people think. Relatability. People have to relate to you. You have to be, we failed forward. Like we said, we were too dumb to doubt. We didn't know, like Sonya's like, don't ask me what's in it. And some people know that you don't need to be a nutritionist or have a master's degree be as smart as Becky and Andrea to do this, And then credibility. You have to have credibility. Like when Sonya was like worried about, I've already been in a couple things. Are people really gonna, some might have thought, is she really doing that other thing? But her vulnerability, relatability, all that, and then being consistent, you better believe that built her credibility. It's like, well, I found my lifer company and we're changing lives in the most meaningful ways. And so I really want you all to get that part of the story and not compare, because at any moment you can make a decision to choose to be passionate every day, to choose to show up and do your IPAs every single day. It's always a choice. But I promise you too, if you have a power partner, or if you don't have a power partner, it's wonderful to do this with somebody. Just know that. So pray for that. If you have never found we always say we're so grateful we had each other from the beginning. And because believe me, like we got rejection, we got, people laughing at us. And it's important to have that person to be able to lift you up and all that.
Well, and don't hide behind your computer, because what if we didn't have internet? And I know that sounds crazy, but what if things got just nuts? And I don't know. I just loved it. You want to be so good at loving people that that you could do this if you had nothing but just walking out your door, pay your bills in person. People say, what do you do? And I say, I educate people on the link between gut health and blah, 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 whatever you want to say there. It's so fascinating. And that starts a conversation. And always have samples in your purse. And, always look at people in their eye and touch their arm if you can, and they say, oh my gosh, well, I suffer with that. And I touch them, look them in the eye and say, I don't know if what I have can help you or not, but it has helped so many people I know that suffer with that. Can I give you a sample? Let's link up on social media if you haven't. We'll keep in touch. That's what you say, and that's how you do it. And people feel your authenticity, and if people trust you, they will want to buy from you and get to know you and run with you. And don't be afraid to say to people, because almost everyone we were sponsoring was going silver. We earned the first silver star trip the company did. I think we had 27 and 29 silvers that month. Her one to be the other. And we were like, everyone we brought in, we would say, you realize all you need to do is share this with 3 or 4 people. You're going to make some money.
Who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know?
All we talked about. Don't be afraid to say that to people. You don't think people this time and day need money? Oh my gosh, the world's crazy. They need money. I need everyone.
And one of the first things Sheila did was she was a brand new sapphire. So do you guys get the visual? When we joined, there were no diamonds.
Yeah.
How many of you have learned so much from the 200 diamonds plus? We had nobody. So again, I'm just saying, someone's got to take the lead, right? I always say, don't wait. If you're waiting, what are you waiting for? Sometimes we just have to pray for that boldness every day. We're called to be bold. We're blessed to be messengers of these life-changing products. And like I said, when I think people really understand what you have at your fingertips with this opportunity, y'all, there's nothing better. There's nothing better than getting messages. Save those messages when people say Plexus changed my life or changed my health or saved my finances or whatever. That's your being bold. And find the joy every day in being bold and loving on people and serving people. That's what fills our cup. People always want to know, what's the secret, because all us top diamonds, in the company, the jewels, we're all so different, right? We're not all so goofy like me, Sonya. But, what have we fallen in love with? The mission of Plexus, hope, health, and happiness. Every day, day in, day out, day in, day out. Is it always pretty? Is it always easy? Heck no. If it was, everybody would be a diamond. So what do you have to change? Your mindset. And we were so fortunate in our 16, 17 years with Mary Kay, because we took network marketing seriously. We understood the importance of what goes on in these 6 inches. It dictates everything, your thoughts, your words, your actions, who you attract, everything. That's what we built our businesses on. And of course, skill is important. But as you know, in the beginning, we didn't have much of that. We knew what to say because we were excited, but did it always make sense? Probably not. But people will want to be part of something that's bigger than themselves when you're putting it out there day in and day out. I don't believe misery loves company. I believe people are attracted to bold, courageous, positive, encouraging, dreaming big, doing people, right?
Yeah. And don't, Helen said something, don't feel like you have to know everything. We didn't know. I remember we joined in September, and I remember when I hit gold in November and quit my full-time job. And I remember December 1st when all my points were gone on my dashboard. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm supposed to start. I said, I hit gold. I'm supposed to have 100 points. Where'd they go? And I called the company, and they're like, well, they start over every month. You don't need to know.
We didn't know. She asked me, I'm like, I don't know. We just keep getting paid. I don't know.
So, here's the thing. People don't care if it's people follow you. And if you say, let's just do it, they're going to follow you, your excitement, your trust, and you just learn as you go. All the lights are never going to be green. They will never all be green. And if you're waiting on it, you're waiting on the company to get perfect, because I'm going to tell you something. It ain't never going to be perfect. No company is. There's always something we can improve on in our company, our products, our people. People are going to come and go. You're going to say my upline quit. Oh no. Okay. We've had diamonds quit, level 1s and 2s. They move on. Whatever.
It all happen. But what's always stayed constant, our rock solid belief in Plexus and ourselves. You guys if you don't believe in yourself, I mean, do whatever you can, follow these 2 amazing diamonds and be mentored by enough people where there is no reason anybody can't learn the skills to do this. Everything is figure outable, everything is teachable, everything is possible. But if you don't believe it for yourself, then you're wasting your time. So get that right from the beginning. And I believe that was our mindset. We knew what was coming. We knew rejection was part of it, and ups and downs, and a baby company exploding. There was going to be growing pains. It's all good. What never wavered? Our belief. I'm sorry if you guys can hear my dog barking. My boys just arrived. I get to spend a half hour with them before one of them goes back home. So I apologize if you can hear that. But that's what we have to share. Anything else, Sonya?
No, because I know you got to go, and I wanted to see, if there's anything you guys want to ask or add.
Yeah. You guys have any questions?
And I could stay on a little longer, Helen. I know you have the boys. You only have over 30 minutes, and then they're gone. You haven't seen them, but I can stay on longer. I have my dogs are fine and my kids are grown.
I know. I was going to say, Helen, if you've got to go, honey, go. That's the beauty of obviously why we all have this career is because
I know.
get to do that.
One lives in Nevada. He just flew in, and the other one drove up from Austin last night. He picked him up at the airport, and then we're going to be together, and then the other one has to drive back. But
go do it. We love you for even taking 30 minutes of your day to talk to us and encourage us.
Of course. I love it always.
We'll talk. We'll gossip about you with Sonya.
Yeah.
Hey, this will be recorded. So
yeah. I'll tell them the real stuff. So love you.
Love you. Thank you for having me, everybody.
Sonya, I do have a question. Tell us, what was your financial situation when you joined, and what were the first 6 months like when you were making Plexus money like brand new?
Yeah. So, I had, I was in Mary Kay and I had a team. I had kind of, we built our home here on family land, and we overbuilt because I am a dreamer, had big goals, big plans. So I had been really stressed about money most of my years in Mary Kay. And so that's probably what triggered a lot of my health issues. My stress, my anxiety, panic attacks, depression, couldn't sleep, was on sleeping pills. I was in such pain with my fibro, poor gut health, craved sugar, all the bad things, up and down 20 pounds all the time. And so when I had to give up Mary Kay because of my health, we really, for about 2 years, went into it was really tough. We had to borrow money from my mom. We had to borrow money from the bank. We went through some savings. It was a very, very dark time. And Becky, I can tell you that just prior to getting in Plexus, I had, and I'm going to tell you that I carried around my wedding ring. Even after I hit it great with Plexus, I kept my wedding ring. I'd gotten a new one. I was going to pawn my wedding ring, and I had it in my wallet for about 4 months. And my husband was like, I can't believe we're even thinking that you're going to have to sell your wedding ring just so we can try to, stay afloat. But that's where we were. And cried myself to sleep a lot of nights. So very dark time. And so when I saw the Plexus opportunity, and the products changed me pretty quickly, and I believe that was the Lord, because it doesn't do that for everyone that quickly. I believe he used me to say, we're going to do this, and we're going to show other people the possibilities. And so joined, hit silver right away, but I wasn't going for that. I was just like, we're going all the way. And I remember saying to Helen when we started, if these products do what they say, and I'm going all the way. And so hit gold in November, quit my job that month, the end of that month, hit senior gold and ruby in January. And then in February, I hit senior ruby, but almost emerald. And then in the middle of March, we both hit emerald in the middle of March. And our check was 5 figures that month. And then I remember Helen hit sapphire in April. I hit sapphire in May. And that was that check began with the number 2. And then in June, she hit diamond, and I hit diamond in July. And that check started with a 3 and then went to a 4. And talk about life changing. And the way we knew this was the right company was we brought hundreds of people on our team with us that were making 500 or more a month, hundreds, and many, probably over 100, making 1,500 to 2,000 a month within our first year. That's how we knew we were with that right company. It wasn't just a few people making good money. It was a lot. It was a lot.
When did you expand into Australia? Like what was happening in your business when that started? And tell us a little bit about the Australia
Yeah.
piece.
Well, that was a blessing. That was a blessing, that social media blessing. Someone saw I had sponsored my husband in the business, and so then I was starting to build under him. And then someone from Australia saw something, reached out, joined his team, my team, and I started working with her, and she hit Emerald. And this was probably I'm gonna say that was probably early 14, maybe the end of 13. So a year and a half later, and she hit, and we started building over there. 2 years later, she quit, left for another company. That happened. And so then eventually, Brenda Croft, who became the first diamond in Australia, Brenda was my level 5 or 6, and she compressed to like my level 3. And she reached out to me. I didn't even know who she was. And she wanted to start working with me. And we started working together. And then she hit diamond. And she hit diamond in 2020. I think she hit emerald in maybe 18 or 17, maybe 17. That's how that happened. And what a beautiful thing that you can work with someone that's literally right now, she's asleep. It's in the middle of the night there. And just everyone's the same all over the world. We have the same love language. We all hurt. We all have pain. We all need help financially and health wise. And that's what we're here to do, is just talk. We just authentic with everyone. Please be authentic. Just be yourself. Tell people you can't poop. I can't poop. And Flex has changed my life. I mean, that's literally what you can say. People want to be with people who are real and who don't try to be perfect.
And that's one of the reasons why you've always been so endearing. Okay, y'all, please ask some questions. Christy, can you unmute and ask the question that you asked in chat?
Can you hear me? I'm in the car.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, Sonya, I met you in Orlando at our last Super Saturday. I was a senior silver then, and you met me afterwards. You and Helen, you're super sweet. And the training there you did was just awesome. So I've been following you since the beginning of that. I just wanted to say that. I haven't seen you since then, so I just needed to tell you.
Thank you. Sweet.
My question is, so how do you build belief in someone? Because a lot of this is people don't know what they don't know, both the products and the business side of it. So how do you build belief in, personally for me, I feel it's easier to build belief in the products, but how do you build belief in the business side to someone who doesn't really get it, or they don't have the belief in themselves that they could do something like this?
Yeah, good question, Christy. You have to, it is, I used to think it wasn't, but it really is our job and responsibility. And we can do that for people. So I like to just ask people, like, I like to say things like giving them some possibilities and vision. Like I would say, Christy, I know you're just getting started on the products, and you know how to build belief in the products. You just said that, let's lock arms, let's do this. You got to give it 60, 90 days at least, because but I'm here for you. I don't want you to quit. So you know how to like coach them. You're like, you really stay in touch with them. But you also from the very beginning can say, Christy, I don't know if you have ever even thought about that you could actually make an income from seriously just helping people with these products. Is that something you've ever even dreamed about or thought about? And if she says, oh no, I could never do a business. Well, okay, let me ask you this. Could you use extra income? Well, yeah. Okay. What does that look like for you? When you say, yeah, I could use extra income, like, how do you envision that happening? So I like to ask them how they picture income coming in. If it's not from something like this, I like to know what that looks like for them. Does that, and if she says, well, I don't really know, I've not really given it much thought. Okay, well, like if you did give it much thought, if you could give it much thought, how do you see that happening? Like, are you thinking you're going to go get a second job? Are you thinking you're going to create like an Etsy shop? Like, what are you thinking? And honestly, most people haven't given it a thought. It's just an afterthought. I need more money. And then they just would rather really be broke and complain their whole lives because they're not really willing. So that's another thing. Christy, if you really need to make extra money, it's definitely something we could talk about because it's very simple to do in this business. Very simple to do. And if you ever think maybe you need money for, what do you need money for? What would you need money for? Make them talk. What would you need money for? You're teenagers, going to buy car. Okay, college. Okay. If you don't have a plan to make that happen, how's that going to happen? So, I mean, I do get pretty bold with people. I give them a little tough love, and so they have to be willing. And so sometimes I like to say, Christy, if you are teachable and coachable, that's great, but you got to be willing. And if you're willing, I can teach you and coach you if you're willing. So, Christy, it's not necessarily that everybody's going to say, okay, yeah, but you've got to find out if they are even willing and want to. And then your job is to continue to say, you can do this. You told me you've got people to reach out to. Do you just need some words to say? Or what's holding you back from reaching out? I love to say, what's holding you back from reaching out? And so I just told my gal this. Every time I have a Zoom with my one little gal, she's amazing. It's like, she's like, you're right. And she gets off the phone and then she's like reaching out to people. Sometimes we just lose our belief in ourselves and our confidence. And you just need to give that back to your people. So when I feel like I have someone slipping, Christy, she's slipping, I will just reach out and say, Christy, do you have 15 minutes for a quick Zoom? I've been thinking about you. Let's get on. And I'm like, okay, talk to me. What's going on? I don't know. Nothing's going on. Okay. Do you want something to go on? Yes. What's holding you back? How can I help you with that? And then you're just giving them the words to say. People say you're out and about and you're talking to people. You walk in a restaurant, you walk in a shop, you start a conversation about life, whatever. This shop is cute. How long have you worked here? You start a conversation and they say, well, what do you do? And you say, oh gosh, I'm glad you asked. I educate people on the link between gut health and energy and gut health and autoimmune and all kinds of things. It's pretty fascinating. And they go almost always, oh, wow, wait, did you say gut health? Or, oh, wait, what is that? And it start a conversation. And that's kind of, you want to get out the door and start conversations. Truly. You're in charge of that. You can make that happen every day. So it's casting vision with even people that you're talking to in a store and you're giving them hope for their health. And then you talk about you can actually make money doing this. It's fun. Y'all got to enjoy it though. You got to change your mindset. You're not pushing, you're not bugging people. You are giving people this chance on life for their health and their income. So it starts with your belief.
I was going to say, everything you're saying is about your energy, your excitement, your belief. If any of you have ever thought, how can I talk someone into selling, or how can I talk them into believing in this, or all of it, if you can listen to Sonya for 44 minutes and not be like, oh my gosh, we can do this. We can all do this. And so-and-so needs to do this too. That's her excitement breeds excitement in other people. So if you're thinking, I don't know how to pour healthy mindset into my people, my question is, where is your mindset? Because you're probably mirroring whatever yours is, whatever your fears are, whatever your holdbacks are in those conversations with the other people. And you probably don't even realize it. So Sonya's belief is what pours mindset, belief into other people, is that she has solid belief.
Yeah.
Okay, I have two questions. One is, Beck mentioned the fact that you are a John Maxwell certified trainer. And so what's your favorite book? If you were I have to give one book to people, I know she's looking at her bookshelf going, which one do I pick? And this is the book that everyone just kind of has to have, whether you're network marketing or not, whether you want to be a top level leader or you want to get to Ruby and that's what your family needs. What feels like that book for you?
Well, all right, don't make fun that I'm CEO on the top and my leggings on the bottom, but Yeah, that's the privilege of working from home, right?
Uh-huh.
So this is probably my favorite book for you yourself, from John. It's the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. This is more about you. Like, I love 21 laws, irrefutable laws of leadership, but until you conquer yourself and work on you, and this is the best book for that of his, I would get this book first. I would get Failing Forward to Success also. Those are two of my very favorite all-time John books for yourself. And yes, for sure, because if you don't work on that, it's going to be hard. And like Andrea said, when people say all the time, I just don't know what to do and what to say, and I'm like, let's just go meet for 3 or 4 hours and walk around and let's just have fun. And I go meet with somebody, or I fly to do that with someone. I fly to do a little coffee with them, but mainly to give them hope and let them see how fun and easy this is. And in 4 or 5 hours, we can get 7 or 8 quality, excited people, even sign customers up on the spot. And I leave and they go, I can't believe how much fun that was. I can't believe how in-depth conversations we got with people in minutes. It's because I love to give people hope. And when you take that on yourself as, I want to just go out there, not go get people, meet people, get names. No, I want to go see who God puts in my path. I always pray before I go, Lord, put whoever in my path you want me to step on today, because I'm going to step on them hard. And I do. And it's fun. And I just want to give you that. I want you to take on that fun role of, I just want to go give hope today. That's truly what I love to do. And it really works if you have that mentality. It works every time. It's my favorite thing to do. Favorite thing by far to do.
I love that. So my second question is, Beck mentioned this in the beginning, but we were trained by your whiteboard. Like that, like she literally, y'all, like, and yeah, Kristen's like, if you haven't seen early Sonya, go ahead and pull up a YouTube video. Here comes the whiteboard. And she, y'all, on a whiteboard with a black dry erase marker, she would tell us how our compensation plan worked. And we'd be like, okay, I don't know what that means. Okay. And then she would break down business building bonus, and we'd be like, okay, here's all of our notes. But it didn't stop us from working. We didn't wait for her to come out with a video before we did anything. Just as we were working and she would come out with a video, we'd be like, plugged in. Okay, learn a few things, maybe grab 1 or 2 things from that video. And every person that watched it grabbed something different, right? The one thing that they needed to understand.
Yeah. And
then we continue working. And then she'd come out with another video and be like, okay, let's sit down and figure out what we need to know. And here's the thing I want to ask you is, where do you think, or I don't even know what the question is, but I'm watching our field wait for people to train them instead of showing up. You showed up and didn't say, well, I'm not, Sheila, so maybe I should ask Sheila to do it. Or I'm not, Helen, so maybe, or someone else is better at this, or someone else doesn't have a whiteboard. They can do it all pretty on the screen. Yep. Where are we as leaders? Like, because this is a call of leaders, and whoever listens to this later is going to want to listen to this for growth. Where would you encourage people to show up for themselves instead of waiting for someone else to show up for them?
Oh, I love this. Okay. I think that social media, people have compared they have said, gosh, I'd love to do something, but I can't do it, because if I do it, I mean, look at Becky and Andrea and Susie, and they've done all these great things. I'm sure people won't listen to me because I haven't accomplished this yet. I mean, I think comparison is probably and because back then I'm doing this. I got to figure it out. I got people I got to teach. I just got to figure it out. And I didn't worry about, had somebody already done it? Is somebody doing it better? What if I'm not doing it right? Because I just believed I needed this for my family because I had no option, and I stuck with my why, and God put me here, so he obviously will equip me to do this. God does not call the equipped, he equips the called. And I was called, and I believed I was called, and you've got to believe that you're called to do something big, or I believe you wouldn't be here if you didn't believe that about yourself. But you have to show up by saying, where am I needed today? Who needs me today? Where am I needed? Where is there a piece of the puzzle on my team that I feel like I've got to fill that void? And if I don't have anything pretty and fancy, I'll just pull out a whiteboard and I'll just start writing on it. And that's probably what they need. I probably need to do more of that myself. Just pull out the old whiteboard, because there's something about just being real and not feeling like you have to be perfect and feeling like you have to measure up to anyone else. If you have an idea, there's a reason you have it. You need to share it. And so I think we just have to show up every day saying, where is there a need on my team, in my business, and how can I just make that happen? If it's just spur of the moment, going live for whatever reason. Does that help?
Yes. And I think what you did is you did it for the whole company. You didn't say, I'm just holding this to my team and nobody else can have it. Like, you were like, oh, wait. And I so many times on my Remarkable, I've been like, okay, here's the new business plan. Here's how, like, and you're writing it out. It's my version of a whiteboard. But I think, like, this call is available to anybody that has a link to it. Like, we want, like, you modeled it well for us of, if I have a thought, I'm sharing it with everybody and I'm letting everyone benefit from it, because then when they share a thought, we'll all benefit from it again. And we really all did it together.
We really did. There was just nothing in the beginning. And Michelle Thomas, who I sponsored, she was the one that said, Sonya, we were growing, and she was like, could you there's a channel called YouTube. I'm like, yeah, I know about it. She goes, well, you can actually make a recording. Sonya, there's so many people. I'm like, that's a great idea. Yes, I can do that. And that's what started the whole, I'll just train people. If they need it, they can share it. If they don't, at least our team will have access to it. That was how that started. So yeah.
I love it. I love every minute that you have given to this team. Thank you. Thank you for I would say hours, but it's really years of service that you've given to our company that makes our company really great. I think corporate will never know what some of the people in the field have done to actually build what they have. Like, what they provided products, and they've provided great, amazing, structure of a company. But what you and Helen and so many that have come after you because of you have done, it's just crazy to think, like, what you set as a foundation is now trickling into every person that will listen to this call has the ability to go above and beyond their wildest dreams in this company, because you told a few of us how we got paid, what the products did, like all of the things. But you've given us a voice, you've given us joy, you've shown us that we really can show up in hope and health and happiness in the best ways. You and Helen, when we were laughing, I was like, how old were you when you started? And you were telling us, and I was like, either way, you keep us young, you keep us energetic. And I just think there's joy. I mean, you can see Jesus in what you do, because there's true joy in the fact that you get to change lives. You get to come up alongside him and dole out, him and joy to other people. So I just think that's incredible. Thank you for taking out your time,
I love you. I love you. I appreciate you and all your sweet words. And it is still humbling today. So thank you so much. Thanks for having us. And I hope that you all just take away some things that you just go and you say, it's a new day. It's a new decision, because everything is just a decision. It's a moment in time. We all have those moments in time. So hopefully you'll have a moment in time and change things for your family and many around you. So I love you all.
Are you going to get to be on the cruise?
I am going on the cruise. I'll see you on the cruise. I'm like, I'm not a cruise girl, but I love cruises. I'll be on the cruise. So
just keep chanting it. You'll get there. It'll be fun. It'll be a blast.
It will. It'll be fun to love on everybody. So
it'll be a blast. Okay. We'll see all of you later. Thank you so much, Sonya.
Thank you so much.
Bye.